A very good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, all of you. I hope you all are doing great and you have revised your sale of goods. Yes, we have already completed sale of goods. Dhruv, Chaitanya, Rohani, Akshita, Kushi, all of you children, a very good afternoon. And definitely we are going to start a new act, a new chapter today. That is Indian Partnership Act 1932. So, but before we start, as committed last time also, if you have any queries still left, you have read, you have revised your sale of goods, formation of contract, condition, warranties, transfer of ownership, as well as unpaid seller. कोई भी आपको लगता है अभी भी queries रह गई हैं या descriptive questions में कोई doubts आ रहे हैं, because I asked you to go through all the descriptive questions. So if you have gone through all these questions and you still feel that I have a doubt, please make me note down your queries at the end of the session so that when next we meet, we can just take down all those questions which you want me to revise with. All right. And those who have written, we have done that. We have revised it. Excellent. Om Gupta, Priyadarshini, Gangama, Sandhya, Gar, Vindhya, Ch-3, Vipita, Vishnu Deo Thakur, all of you, well done children. Satyam, Deepika, Vidisha, Sadhna, Amar, Mogan Priya, good afternoon. Shruti, Dhruv, all of you. All right. So now since we're going to start legal rules for auction sale, definitely Om Gupta, that is one topic that is still to cover. So first we'll start with the first unit of Indian Partnership Act, and around 3:30 we'll start and take up that topic of auction sale as well. So don't worry, we will definitely complete that topic as well. Auction sale, वैसे in general, I explained to you in the last class also, it basically means when you are selling the goods at auction. So you have kept your goods out for sale, you have invited the bidders, and everybody put their bidding, that is they fix the price at which they're going to buy the products. Accordingly, whosoever is the highest bidder, the auctioneer makes the sale to that person. But how it is done, what are the legal rules, what is the reserve price, what is the pretended bidding, we will talk at length about all these things. Okay, good. Neetu, Asha, Prasad, Suraj, Aditi, Vindhya says I have also revised. That's great. Yes, Neetu Bagel, we will take that topic as well once, don't worry. So now, with all your pens and papers ready, let's get excited to form the Indian Partnership Act together. We have been selling goods. Last 2 weeks, I was the seller, you were the buyer. I used to come and I used to tell you, I'm selling chocolates, you're buying it from me. Or I'm selling you the goods, you're the buyer, you have those legal rights, I have this legal right. If you do not obey, what actions I will take, and if I do not obey the rules, if I breach the contract, what actions you can take against me, everything was discussed. So from now onwards till the next week, we will not be buyer and seller, we will be partners. So today we'll be joining hands with each other and we will be running together a business. So let us understand what is the Indian Partnership Act all about, what does it say. So meanwhile, I'm opening the presentation. I want all of you quickly send me an answer for this thing, that we call it Indian Partnership Act 1932. So before Indian Partnership Act 1932 was made, the provisions related to partnership were part of which act? Was this act earlier a part of Sale of Goods, or the Indian Contract Act, or the Companies Act? Tell me, students. Indian Partnership Act. Yes, Likit S says now we'll become partners soon. That's great. And Kushi is asking, ma'am, how much share are you going to give us? So we'll divide the profits equally, don't worry. So Om Gupta has also said, I'm ready. Janvi is also ready. Asha is also ready. Now that's great. Wonderful, students. So quickly send me the answers. Indian Partnership was part of which act before 1932? Was it the part of Indian Contract Act or Sale of Goods Act or Companies Act? Kavita says Sale of Goods. Garv says Companies Act. Pratima says Companies Act. Wow. Great. My dear commerce students, Prasnath Aniket says Companies Act. I feel so happy when you send me such wrong answers. That makes me and helps me and make me feel proud that you really need to be taught a lot about partnership. Okay. So Janvi, that's a wonderful correct answer. Anshika is correct. Prakriti Goyal is also correct, but the name she has written is not absolutely right, but I can make it out. Chanda is correct. Janani is correct. Vidisha, Deepika, Nishi, you are correct. Okay, yes, now you have corrected the name. Jia Walia, you have to answer that. Okay, good afternoon. Namanpreet is correct. Definitely Anshika Jain. And so many are writing Companies Act. Oh my God. Just look at you students. Companies Act 1956 है. उसके बाद Companies Act 2013 है. 32 तब तक तो Companies Act अभी strongly amend भी नहीं हुआ था. Partnership Act 1932 में आया. So this means that when I told you last time, you were just listening about sale of goods. You missed out this point. All the provisions relating to Indian Partnership Act 1932 were earlier. This act was part of Indian Contract Act 1872. Remember when we started sale of goods, I told you that Indian Contract Act was made so heavy because sale and purchase की सारी provisions उसमें थी, partnership की भी सारी provisions उसमें थी. Partnership is never part of Companies Act. Companies are different, partnership is different. LLP is different, partnership is different. Buyer and seller are different, partners are different. Sole proprietor is different, partners are different. So partnership is an act in itself. Now, ma'am, why it was part of Indian Contract Act? Because partnership is also made out of an agreement. पार्टनरशिप में भी हम एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन करते हैं, एक पार्टनरशिप डीड साइन करते हैं. तो इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में सारी कमर्शियल ट्रांजैक्शंस कवर्ड थी, सेल ऑफ गुड्स भी कवर्ड था एंड पार्टनरशिप भी कवर्ड. तो पहले 1930 में सेल ऑफ गुड्स was extracted and separate act was made following the same essentials of the valid contract. And in 1932, the need for forming a separate act for partnership was felt. Because, so many chartered accountants were making partnership firms, so many businesses were opening as a firm. So we thought that why don't we have a separate act so that it becomes very easy to apply the provisions of the act and we can respectively open the partnership act. So now if any partners have a fight, we don't have to open the bulge out the whole big book of Indian Contract Act. We can simply open the Indian Partnership Act 1932 and we can find out the analysis and the answers for our questions. All right. So I hope now it's clear. So weightage of this chapter, Mr. Madusu, sale of goods is around 15, 16 and similarly partnership also carries a weightage of around 12 marks. So when we do your mock test papers, I will show you where these questions come, but I never try to share the question paper before we have discussed the content. So first we will complete the syllabus and when we see the mock test papers, I'll make you understand how the questions come from the Indian Partnership Act. Good, Neetu. Yes, you've given the correct answer. Mangal Pally has also given the correct answer. Many of you gave it correct, but those who gave Companies Act, oh my God. So now you're sending lots of love also for that Companies Act. Partnership is never ever part of Companies Act. Companies alag hai, partnership alag hai. We will be covering 7 to 8 points of differences also today between company and partnership. Then you'll laugh more on yourself that how can we say that partnership is company alag hai, partnership formal. So थोड़ा सा elaborative way में समझते हैं इसको. So Mr. Deepak Shivhare opened up a shop. Mr. Rohit, what are you asking? You can send your question again. Okay, 2-3 students. Ishika Roy is asking about quasi-lien. So quasi-lien is additional right that has been given in case of an agreement to sell. So जिस तरह से आपने general lien पढ़ा था that you have a control on the goods. Similarly, Ishika, quasi-lien means that it is a lien on the goods for withholding the delivery. So I had to sell you this water bottle and I had to sell you on 31st July. So it was an agreement to sell. So now I came to know that the buyer is not able to make my payment and I become unpaid seller. Now I'll withhold the delivery. I'll tell my people in the godown who has made these water bottles for you. I'll call them. I'll tell them that don't give the delivery to Ishika because she has failed to make the payment. She's the buyer. I'm the seller. So this right that I'm exercising is the Caucilium. All right. Definitely Krishna Katel. We'll do that as well. No, Mangal Pali, LLP is a separate act and we will understand after we are done with partnership, then you will be doing LLP act, then we will do the end is the companies act. Okay. So now let's hear to a story. So whose name was taken in the story? Miss Deepika Shivhare. She opened up a shop and she is a cloth merchant. She is into the business of sale and purchase of clothes. So she purchased the clothes from Pooja Joshi and sell it in the market. So what kind of organization Deepika is run? Let us understand. D is standing for Deepika. Deepika is running a store for sale, purchase of clothing. So she's individually running it. तो क्या बोलेंगे हम उसको किस तरह की organization? Excellent, Prayukta. Sakshi Sharma, what are you asking? Yes, it's similar to that, Ishika. That's correct. All right, Prayukta, very good. She's the only one who has sent the answer till now. It is known as, very good, Gangama, all others also, Saloni, Ritu. It is a sole proprietorship. ठीक है ना? Individual person running the business, it is a kind of a sole proprietorship. That's fine. Now, D hired a servant or a helper in her shop. Will D be considered as a partner? Yes or no? Oh, sorry, not D. Will this helper be considered as a partner? Because D will be paying some salary and some share of profits is also going as a part of salary to him. So will this helper become a partner with D? D ने दुकान खोली, आप सब ने आंसर भेजा. He's a sole proprietor, trader. That's excellent. Pankiti, Ritu, Jia, all of you, Vikash, Janvi, everyone is correct. Now, is it become a partnership firm? Excellent. All those since. No, ma'am. Vikash, Jha, Shalini, Sadhna, Neetu, Srishti, Naman, Manish, Anshika, Venkate, Lakshmi, Sita Lakshmi. Deepika also says no, ma'am. Still remain the sole proprietor. Komal Preet, excellent. Good. P. Yamini. All of you are right, children. Why? Because I have just hired a person to help me in my shop. He is not my partner. But this helper, Mr. C, is very educated and he is very brainy. He is helping me to increase my sales also. I was doing a business of 1 lakh and now since I've hired this helper, Mr. C, my sales have increased 2 lakhs per month. So I thought D signed an agreement with Mr. C and makes him a partner. Now, CD Associates is known as, yes, I know आप सबको आता है, it's known as partnership firm. अब जब मैंने agreement sign कर दिया, हमने एक deal कर ली that now we are going to share the profits of the firm. Whatever 1 lakh, 2 lakhs we are earning, we will be sharing it among ourselves. All right. Now we become partners. So CD Associates is the name that we have given to our firm and we become a partnership firm. Let's assume that I want to expand my business further. I decided to open up another form of organization, that is a company. So if there are only 2 members in a company, it will be a private limited company. And if I decide to take more investment from the public, it will be a public limited company. So depending upon my scale of organization, how level at which I want to expand, I decide my organization. So if I'm only doing the business all alone, it's a sole proprietor. I hired a helper, then also it's a sole proprietor. I signed an agreement, it becomes a partnership firm. I want to expand my business, I make up a company. I want public at large to invest, I make a public limited company. So jitna business aap karte hain, uski ye, these are the kinds of the organization. All right, these are all the kinds of organization that you can open up. Every organization is separate. सोल प्रोप्राइटर की अपने राइट से, अगर आपने कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड से 11th 12th करा है, यू मस्ट हैव स्टडीड अबाउट दीज टाइप्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन योर बिजनेस स्टडीज एज वेल. That sole proprietor has its own characteristics and features. Partnership has its own features. What happens when the partners admitted in accounts also? Admission of partner, retirement, dissolution. You have studied about all this. Here we'll be understanding all the legal terms related to partnership act. आप सबको एक आइडिया है पार्टनरशिप क्या होती है. इनफैक्ट डेफिनेशन यू पीपल हैव लर्नड इट फॉर योर बोर्ड एग्जाम्स, है ना. लर्न की थी पार्टनरशिप की डेफिनेशन. लेट अस सी हाउ सेक्शन 4 इंटरप्रेट्स द डेफिनेशन ऑफ पार्टनरशिप. So all these are kind of organization, and every organization is different from each other. So partnership is, number one, it is the relationship between partners. So when Deepika opened the store, that time, was there any relationship between persons? No, ma'am, she was the sole proprietor. So for partnership, but when she agreed to partner with Mr. C, then they became partners. So a relation between persons is very important. A single person alone can never have a partnership firm. Please write it down. A single person alone can never have a partnership firm. Very good answers you all have given. Oh, Priyadarshini saying no because he's not investing capital. So investment of the capital you do in company. So yes, some share has to be bought. So that's okay. All right. So single person can never have a partnership firm. If you want a partnership firm, then it has to be 2 or more than 2 persons. In order to form a partnership, write down single person can never have a partnership firm. In order to form partnership, you must have minimum 2 or more persons. So partnership is the relation between persons. All my students have answered also correctly. And now you know that at least 2 persons should be there. Okay. Likit, we'll talk about the number of partners. Don't worry. Yes, yeah, that's correct. Okay, so 2 or more persons are very important. Point number 2. What is point number 2? Who have agreed to share the profits. So write down, number 1 is the relation between persons. They should be minimum 2 or more than 2 persons. Number 2, there must be an agreement between the parties. Without an agreement, there can be no partnership. Contract तो बनाना ही पड़ेगा, तभी तो Indian Contract Act applicable है इसको. So agreement is must. We cannot say that I am sitting at my home and Mr. B sitting in his home thought that we will be partners and we became partners. No. We have to either oral or written or some conduct has to be done in order to prove that we are partners. Point number 3 is sharing of profits. What is the meaning of sharing of profits? First of all, you have to earn the profits. Whether there are profits in the business or losses, sharing is must. You are not the sole proprietor. All these partners, see, A, B, C, D, they have kept their bags down and they're joining hands with each other. That now we join hands and we agree. They're showing a promise, they're showing an agreement that, look, we agree to share our profits and losses. Whatever business we are going to do, we'll be running the business together, and whatever profits we make from that business, we'll share it among ourselves. And what is the sharing the profits of what? Profits from a business. Very, very important point. Now, if, for example, your dad, Mr. A, comes home and he tells you that, look, children, today I had a profit of 1 lakh rupees. And out of these profits, he gave to your mother 50,000. Mothers will be very happy today. And to you children, 20,000 rupees. So father was very happy. He came back home. Look, we had 1 lakh rupees profits in the business. And 50,000 मम्मी जी को मिल गए and 20,000 जो मेरे बच्चे यहाँ बैठे हैं CA फाउंडेशन वाले, उनको उनके डैड में दे दिए. So now, my dear children, Mr. A, Mrs. A and his son, Mr. B, do they become partners? Can we say that they are partners because they're sharing the profits? See, Papa bought profits and he gave to Mama also and he gave to son also. So can we say A, Mr. A, Mrs. A and Mr. B, the son, or Mr. B, Miss B, the daughter, they are partners? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Why? If yes, then why? If no, then why? Yes, Prayukta, in the same ratio, distribution of profits. Okay, so you say no, ma'am. Then why no? Why Anshika? Why Rohit? Why Venkat Lakshmi? Why Garb, Anshika, Prayukta, Purva, Tanu? Why do you say no? Yes, Sneha Singh is laughing, huh? Sneha, why no? Acha, Sadhna says no because there is no agreement. Okay, there is no agreement. Okay, we made an agreement also. Dad said, okay, I make an agreement that I will come home and I'll share my profits with you. Then is it okay? No agreement is made, Deepika is also saying. Deepika, please tell if agreement is made, then it's okay. Madhu, Prakriti, Sovan, if we make an agreement. Nishi Garg, my question is, father made an agreement with the wife and son that whatever profits I'll get in my business, I'll come and give the share to you. Is it okay? Okay, Chaitanya Chaudhary is saying it is given out of love and affection. You've gone into chapter of consideration, huh? No legal relationship. Did I ask you about contract? There is no consent. Oh my God. What are you writing? Thank you, Mr. Amit. Somebody wrote an answer for what I was looking for. No, ma'am, because there is no business. What is the fourth point? I am talking related to point. Yes, Jolly Joseph, that's correct. Okay, you made me have a good laugh today. Somebody is saying going into free consent. Somebody is going into consideration. आप तो Indian Contract Act में चलेगे बेटा. That's good, but यहाँ पे reason कुछ और है. यहाँ पे मैं आपको ये समझा रही हूँ कि business थोड़ी ना कर रहे हैं. A ने out of love and affection, that's good. That's nice. But here we are not talking whether consideration and return is given or not. Here my question was that do they become partners? No, ma'am, they do not become partners because sharing of profits should be out of the business. Mrs. A is sitting at home. She is not doing business with me. My son, Mr. B, is sitting home studying CA Foundation, not doing business with me. But at the same time, if Mr. A, Mrs. A and B are doing business together, then this answer would have been a positive answer. Then sharing of profits would have been valid. So somebody is saying it's not because an agreement. The main answer that I was looking for, this was just as a funny story I've created so that you remember, children, business word is important in partnership. So 2 and more persons, agreement. What kind of agreement? To share the profits. The profits are coming from where? From the business carried on by all of one of them are all. Did I tell them Mrs. B are also doing business? No, I told you only Mr. A is doing the business. So if He comes home and share the profits, that's okay. He give the profits, share of profits to his employees also. Diwali pe mithaiyan banti, profits diye. It's okay. They will not become partners just because of. They should be doing business carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. Now, in the same example, they thought that Harleen ma'am has told us that if we do business with you and make an agreement with you, we will also become partners. So Mrs. A and the son B and came and they told Dad, we want to become partner in your firm. Now A and Mrs. A and B signed a partnership deed and they became partners with each other. Now, whatever business that they're doing a together business. They're sharing the profits and they're binding each other. What is the meaning of binding each other? Carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. We are assuming Mr. B is not a minor. He is above 18 years of age. So around 25 years of age, we are assuming. So now this family business that they definitely it will be a kind of an HUF as well. Because within the family, when we do the business, it's more of an HUF rather than the partnership. So let's take an outsider also. C and D are also partner. So A and Mrs. A and as well as C and D, now they're doing business. Now all the partners have come together. They have signed an agreement that whatever businesses we are doing, whatever profits we will take out of them, we will share it among ourselves. So let me clear the drawing and make a fresh one for all of you. So number one, you have understood that there should be two or more persons. Number two, that there should be an agreement. Number three, there should be sharing of profits. Number four, ma'am, very important, there should be a business between the partners. Number five, this business must be carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. This principle is known as principle of mutual agency. What is the meaning of mutual agency? Mutually means together we are holding each other as an agent as well as principal of the business. Okay? We are holding each other as an agent as well as principal of the business. So now let's assume Mr. A and his friend Mr. C and Mr. D signed an agreement. They are more than two or more than two partners? Yes, ma'am. They have made an agreement? Yes, ma'am. They make an agreement. Are they sharing the profits? Yes. They are doing the business together? Yes. Now, how can we conclude that they are partnership or not? Now, listen very carefully. This fifth element is very important in order to make a decision whether A, C, and D are partners or not. So now Mr. A goes and make the purchases for the business for rupees 50,000. A, C, and D are children partners. And this A purchased some furniture for the business from Mr. F. ये Mr. F के पास गए और 50,000 rupees का business के लिए furniture खरीद कर ले आए. 5 days are over, payment has still not been received by Mr. F. So this Mr. F came to their shop, came to their firm, and he told Mr. C and D, please pay my money of 50,000. Now, can he ask Mr. C and D to pay the money? Yes or no? Akib Lodi, section 42, 43, 44. After we are done with this chapter of say partnership, first half we will do. After 3:30, just remind me, what do you want to understand from these sections, okay? Yes, now tell me, yes, ma'am, he can recover. Priyanka Kumari, why do you say no? Every other child has said yes. Why he can recover? Based on the mutual agency principle. So whatever A is doing, C and D are liable for it. वो husband wife वाले example से please बाहर आ जाओ. Some children are still revolving. Father went to do the business. He came home. Please leave that story. That was just for fun to make you understand. And now you all have understood. And all those who have given yes the answer for this, that's wonderful. Clapping for all of you. That means you know the meaning of mutual agency. This is what the principle of mutual agency says. If A as a partner does anything, C and D are also liable. If C does anything, A and D are liable. And if D does anything, A and C are liable. एक और इंटरेस्टिंग एग्जांपल लेते हैं. ठीक है, आप सबने ठीक बोला, बिल्कुल ठीक. बिकॉज ही हैज परचेज्ड द फर्नीचर फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ बिजनेस, ऑल द पार्टनर्स आर लायबल फॉर ईच अदर. नाउ इन द सेम एग्जांपल, इफ मिस्टर सी थॉट दैट हरलीन मैम ने तो बड़ी अच्छी बात बताई है, जो भी हम काम करेंगे ए एंड डी भी लायबल है. So Mr. C went to the Tours and Travels and he said, please book me a package of 1 lakh rupees per ticket for Singapore. कहता है यार ये अच्छा है, anywhere in place. So now the Tours and Travelers came and they said that Mr. A and D, C has not yet made the payment of 1 lakh. He's so much interested to go for a travel. Why don't you make the payment since you're partners, you're doing the business together? So will A and D be liable to make the payment of 1 lakh rupees for Mr. C? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Or yes or no, whatever is your answer. Please give me reasons also, children. Like you all have given the reasons. Yes, ma'am, because they are partners in the future one. Very good. Excellent. Jolly is trying to be safe. If the travel is related to business, then yes. Otherwise, no. That's great. It's a personal expenditure, cannot be recovered. Good, Priyukta. Venkat Lakshmi, good. P. Vamini. What are others thinking, huh? It took you so long to write no? It took you so long. No, ma'am. Good. All of you have sent the correct answer. No, because it's a personal expenditure. So we will be liable for each other. We will be principal and agent for each other only for the actions done for the purpose of business. Otherwise, anything done apart from business, partners will not be held liable for each other. Is that clear? This is question 6. True test of partnership, children, when we talk about agreement, sharing of profits and mutual agency, it means that these are the cardinal principle of partnership. Without this principle, business cannot be done as partnership. So it's very, very important. It's very, very important that you should know what is the true test of partnership. And how is it different from other forms of organization? And then we have types of partners. So these are the elements of partnership. Number 1, it is an association of 2 or more persons. So we have very well understood. So if I ask you, there are only 2 partners, Mr. A and B, then also it is partnership firm? Yes, ma'am, then also it is a partnership firm. If there are 3 partners, A, B, C, then also it is partnership firm? Yes, ma'am, it can be. So 2 are also there, 3 are. If I say Mr. A is a partnership firm, then no, ma'am, single person will never be a partnership. He will be a sole proprietor. What is the maximum number of members in partnership? Now, this has been given under Companies Act 2013. Children, earlier Companies Act 1956 was made and the major amendments happened under the Companies Act in the year 2013. So the entire Companies Act was replaced by the Companies Act 2013. So the maximum number of members for partnership, this limit has been defined and designed under Companies Act. It says 100 can be the maximum number of members. However, the rules of 2014 has put up a restriction. They have said that as of now, the present limit is 50 members. So you cannot have more than 50 members in any kind of partnership organization. So if examiner asks you that ABC associates are having, ABCD associates are having 58 members as partners, then it is not a valid partnership. Why? Because Companies Rules 2014 has specified and restricted the limit up to members 50 members. All right. Second thing is that there must be an agreement, that is the deed between the partners, all the names of the number of partners, their addresses, everything should be written in this partnership deed. Third thing is there must be some purpose of doing the business. Now, another very interesting example, please listen over here. Second example that we're going to do. There were 2 people, Mr. A and Mr. B, and they were the owners of beautiful land in Delhi. So they own land in Delhi, and this land gives them a rent of 50,000 and they divide it among themselves. 25,000 A will get and 25,000 B will. So now both A and B are the owners of the land, joint owners of the land, and every month they get a revenue of rental income, that is 50,000, and this rental income they divide equally among themselves. Can we say A and B are partners? Yes or no, and why? Yes, 50 members. That's correct answer that you have given, because the limit has been extended. It is an invalid partnership. It is 58. Very good, Saloni. So now tell me, students, can we say A and B are partners? Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and why, ma'am? शेयर भी कर रहे हैं, इनकम भी आ रही है, जॉइंटली ओन भी करते हैं, तो हम क्या पार्टनर्स हैं? No, ma'am, they're not partners because it is purely a rental income. 100% correct. Saloni says it's partnership as getting rent, regular course of business. No. All those who are saying yes, that's absolutely incorrect. The correct answer is no, no, no. Prasant is also saying yes. That's not correct. Priyanshu is also saying yes. Varun is correct. Komal is correct. Sita Lakshmi is not correct. So no was the correct answer, children. Why no? Because this is the case of co-ownership. Here we are jointly owning the land. We're not doing any business. So अभी हम स्टडी मटेरियल में जाकर जब दोबारा एग्जाम्पल पढ़ेंगे तो मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूंगी. अभी के लिए just remember that some business should be there. Are we purchasing the land and selling it? No, we are owning the land. So this example that I gave you, this is the example of co-ownership. This is the example of co-ownership. This is not partnership. Fourth point is there should be an agreement to share the profits. If A only take the profits and B and C do not get anything, then it is again an invalid partnership. It will not be considered valid. And the fifth point, you all have answered me beautifully, that all the partners are liable for each other's actions. If one partner does anything, the other partners will be held liable. Any of the partner doing any act holds himself liable for the partnership business. And what is the true test? True test means अगर agreement है, sharing of profits है, and they are holding each other liable for them, then it is 100% partnership. He says, although there should be number of partners, transferability of shares, they should be bringing in the capital, unlimited liability, sharing of profits, mutual confidence, ये सब तो part of partnership है ही है. If you would have read your characteristics of partnership, features of partnership, वो सब तो आएंगे ही आएंगे. But in order to conclude, what is the true test? What is the underlining statement that yes, ABC is a partnership firm? For that, you have to see that there should be an agreement. In the co-ownership case, yes, they had an agreement. But were they sharing the profits? No, they were not sharing the profits. They were sharing the rental income from the land, not from the business. And they were not liable for each other actions. Can you say A is liable for B's business? B किसी और business में होगा, A कुछ और काम करता है, वो तो सिर्फ joint income जो rent से आ रही है उस land के लिए, उसको sharing करने के लिए उन्होंने एक agreement बनाया. So co-ownership is never held as a partnership. So let's take a small break over here, and you will not take a break. You will read the essential elements from the study material, and after the break, I'll just take those forward. Surely, Joseph, we'll just take up this point. If the partner died, what will be his liability? Harikesh is writing. All right. Yes, Komalpreet, partnership deed and agreement is one and the same thing. The only difference is that deed is something which is made in writing. So well done, all those who have written. We have read through the elements in the study material also. That's great. Let us now cover the true test of partnership. So let us see the study material once. This definition, section 4, we have already covered. Persons who have entered into partnership with one another are called partners. So if I tell you that A, B, and C have entered into partnership, so what do you call Mr. A, Mr. A, B, and C? They are known as partners, and collectively means together. What is the meaning of collectively? Means together. A, B, C are known as firm. And the business name under which they do the business is known as firm's name. So for example, we say that ABC and Company or ABC Associates, ABC Enterprises. If we have given such name, so this will be the name of the firm's name. So all the partners are together known as firm. So now one of you is asking, what happens if the partners die? So if I tell you tomorrow, children, that A, B, and C, they are three partners in a partnership firm, and they are only together known as the firm. So if they were going for a meeting and all of them met with an accident and all the partners died in that accident, can you say ABC Associates still continues? Will the partnership firm continue if A, B, and C partners have died? There were only three partners and all the partners died. Can the partnership firm still continue? Yes or no? Yes, Gautam Verma, 50 members include all the partners that are there. No, ma'am, partnership will come to an end. Excellent, all those who have written. Yeah, whether you can use the word dissolve or it has come to an end. The legal representatives, yes, Prayukta may try to hold the partnership, but still, once the partners have died, that particular partnership will come to an end. Why? Because those partners together form that partnership firm. Partnership firm never have a perpetual existence like a company. This is not the case of company. In company, the company still continues to exist. We will just understand this point in the points of differences between partnership and company. As of now, you can simply remember that once all the partners died, that firm will come to an end. So these are the elements which we have just studied. So here it is written, Partnership Act is silent about the number of members. वो कहते Partnership Act क्या हुआ? जब partnership बनने लगी ना, तो कोई partnership 100 partners के साथ कर रहा है, कोई 150 partners लेकर आ गया, कोई सिर्फ 20 partners रख रहा है, तो there was no limit set. Why? Because Partnership Act was very silent. They have never mentioned how number of partners you can have. So amendment was made in section 464 of the Companies Act, that putting a limit of 50 partners in any association or partnership firm. So whether you open up an association of persons, what is an association of persons, children? When two and more than two people come together for a particular cause, to do some particular event. Say, for example, A, B, and C, they thought that let's join together hands and put up an exhibition in Delhi. So they decided to meet all the expenditures collectively and they decided to do an event in Delhi, particular event. So this is just an association of persons who are holding a particularly maybe a charitable event, an exhibition for charity purposes or whatever they're doing. So it is only a committee of people who are doing something together. And partnership is people when they're coming together and doing a business. So Companies Act said no, not more than 50 people can get together and either do a business or do any charitable cause. The limit should be maximum 50 partners. Whether you open up an association or you open up a partnership firm, 50 partners is the maximum limit that you can have. Where it is written under the Companies Act 2013. Partnership must have two or more than two persons only recognized by law. What is this meaning of line only persons recognized by law means? Only individuals, human beings, can be considered as the partners, not somebody like a company can never be a partner in a firm. Okay? A company cannot be a partner in a firm. Why? Because, or sorry, a company can be a partner in a firm. Why? Because a company is a person recognized by law. However, the firm can never be a partner in a firm. Let's understand. It says anybody who has been recognized by law. So individuals are living human beings who can see, walk, run. Animals cannot be forming a partners, right? Only individuals, living human beings can form a partnership firm. But it says persons recognized by law. This means an artificial person. When a company is formed, the company is considered as an artificial judicial person. Company को एक अलग से identity दी जाती है. That's why I was telling you, when a company is formed, its members are different. Say for example, A, B, C, D, 4 members, they have formed the company. These 4 members and company, they are separate from each other. They are different. There is a corporate veil which exists between them. So now this company has been given a person's status by the law. So company can be a partner in the partnership firm. However, firm is not a single person recognized. So firm can never be a partner in another firm. Can minor be a partner? No, minor cannot be a partner unless all the partners have agreed to make him the partner. Is that clear? So minor cannot be a partner in the firm. Only with the consent of all the partners, he can be joining for the benefits of partnership. He will never be held liable for any liabilities. He can only enjoy the benefits of the partnership firm. Now, partnership, it says, say for example, if I ask you, there is a firm ABC Associates. 3 partners are Mr. A, B, and C. That's fine. Yes, ma'am, that's fine. Can DF Limited be a partner in this firm? Can DF Limited join ABC Associated? The answer will be yes, because company can be a partner in the firm. Can EFG Associates be a partner in a firm? So there is a firm, EFG Associates is a firm. Can it be a partner in a firm? The answer will be no, ma'am. Firm cannot be a partner, but company can be a partner in a firm. Why? Because company is a person recognized by law. It can enter into an agreement. We can sign papers with a company, but we cannot sign papers with a firm. Its firm in itself cannot be a partner in another firm. Third notes that you will make, can minor be a partner? So you will say yes with the consent of all partners. So if all other partners will consent, then yes, he can become a partner. Clear ho gaya? Now let's move to the agreement. So agreement, I already told you, agreement must be between 2 or more persons. Element of voluntary contractual nature of partnership. So basically it tells you that there is a contract between the parties. Relationship arises may be expressed. Generally jo agreement hai na, like I told you, look, Mr. What name should I take? Miss Venkat Lakshmi, I want to be a partner with you. So I have expressed, I have told in whether we write it out or by words spoken, Venkat Lakshmi has agreed with me to become a partner. Or we have signed a paper. It has been implied by our conduct. So partnership can be either expressed by words spoken or written, or it can be implied by the conduct. So consistent course of conduct means A, B, and C decided that we will be doing business together. Now, consistently, they have been selling the goods and they are holding each other liable for it. Okay. So now, since we are consistently doing the business, we are holding mutual understanding, then it means that there's a partnership between partners. Let's take an example over here. ABC are partners, but they do not meet on regular basis and they have not made the partnership in writing. But whatever business they are doing, the other partners are also liable for it. So law says, can you say that they are partnership firm? So you will say definitely if the principle of mutual agency is present, if they are sharing the profits. Agreement may be oral or in writing. So even if there is an oral agreement, then also it will be considered as a partnership firm. Now, business is very, very interesting. वो कहते हैं business में आपने 2 points देखने हैं. Number 1 point is there must be a business. In co-ownership case, you all told me, ma'am, that is a co-ownership. That is not a business. Business means any trade, occupation, and profession. So now listen very carefully. Now I tell you that A and B, earlier there were joint owners. Now we are into business of sale and purchase of land. And we agree to share the profits from this business. Now can you say, and we are partners? So you will say, number 1, yes, ma'am, there are 2 or more than 2 persons. Number 2, ma'am, they have made an agreement. Yes, they have made an agreement. Number 3, they are doing business. Yes, they are doing business of sale and purchase of land. Number 4, are they sharing the profits? Yes, they are sharing the profits. And number 5, is A liable for B's action and is B liable for A's action? If all these ingredients are present, then yes, A and B are partners. That is how you have to conclude in your exam. So number 1 thing, there should be a business, and number 2 thing, the business should be for acquisition of gains. Acquisition means acquire karna, earn karna. Their motive should be profits. Now children, if I incur all the expenditure and bring maida, eggs, oven, sugar, and put all these things and start the business of baking cakes. Now, Harleen ma'am did all these expenditure, bringing all the ingredients, and she's into business of baking cakes. I incurred the expenditure of 1,000 rupees for this cake and I sell it for 1,000. I incurred an expenditure of 1,200 for baking another cake and I sold it for 1,200. I baked another cake having 5,000 rupees I invested and I'm selling it for 4,000. Is there any motive of profits over here? Am I doing charity? Or am I just taking the reimbursement of cost? Law says there should be acquisition of gains. Are you earning profits? No, you're not earning profits. So then it will not be a partnership. Say, for example, not just Charlene ma'am alone. She has done partner with E and F. So H, E and F will be partners only if they're doing a business and they have the motive of earning the profits. If this motive of earning profits is absent, na children, then there can be no partnership. There can be no partnership where there is no intention to do the business and to share the profits. If our intention is not for profits, not for sharing of profits, not for doing the business, then it is known as a charitable institution, which is not a partnership. That will be association of persons. Clear हो गया ये वाला point भी. आगे चलते हैं. Agreement to share the profits. So now here your examples come. Example number 1, co-owners. ये वही example की बात कर रहे हैं जो हमने अभी उसमें presentation में करा था. If you are earning the rent and you're sharing, there is no business, therefore it is not a partnership. Charitable organization will not be a partnership. X and Y buy certain bales of cotton. They agree to sell on the joint account and share the profits. Is it correct? Can you say X and Y are partners? Example number 3. Is it correct? Yes or no? Please tell me. Why can we say X and Y are partners? NGOs, again, Jolly, if you are doing it for the charitable purposes, they will be association of persons. They will not be partnership. Nishi Garg, when I told you A and B are taking rental income. Now listen carefully, children. जब हम land own करते हैं, so I have a certain property in Delhi and I'm getting rental incomes from that. So am I doing any business? That is property given on rent. But at the same time, if I'm into sale and purchase of properties, then it will be a business. So simple example you have to understand is, if you're getting any rental incomes, if 2 and 3 people are together sharing the rental incomes, then also it will be a co-ownership. It will not be a partnership. Yes, Anjali, minor can be a partner. How his liabilities are shared, we will do further in the chapter. They are carrying out business. That's great. Yes, they're sharing the profits. All of you have given wonderful answers. So very rightly you have mentioned X and Y are partners, ma'am, because number 1, 2, ऐसे लिखना है, ये नहीं लिखा किसी ने number of persons. So X and Y are minimum 2 persons are required. So that condition is met. They have an agreement. Yes, ma'am, it is written. They have agreed to share the profits. Are they doing business? Yes, ma'am, they are doing business on their joint account of sale and purchase of cotton. Are they sharing the profits? Yes, they are sharing the profits. And we are assuming that they have the principle of mutual agency. They are liable for each other actions. Therefore, they will be said to be partners. Mr. Rohit is saying, in a hotel, when we pay the rent. So in a hotel, when you are paying the rent, that is the income for the hotel person. That is the income for the people who are doing business by running a hotel. But here, if you own a property in your own street and you get the rental income, you're not doing any business. See, there are 2 things. One is my business is to give the properties on rent. So then also it is if it is my business to give the properties on rent, or I'm doing a business, there should be a word of business. Second word is co-ownership. You and me together own a property. हम दोनों ने इकट्ठे एक घर ले लिया और उसको किराए पे दे दिया. तो क्या आप कोई बिजनेस कर रहे हो उसमें? नो, आप कोई बिजनेस थोड़ी ना कर रहे हो. आपकी रेंटल इनकम आ रही है तो पार्टनरशिप हुई नहीं, वो तो को ओनरशिप है. ओके, बट होटल पीपल आर डूइंग बिजनेस. दे आर रनिंग बिजनेस ऑफ कस्टमर्स आर कमिंग एंड दे आर गिविंग द रूम्स ऑन रेंट टू कस्टमर्स. ओके, very good, Harshavi. They are into cotton business. That's correct. Sharing the profits. Anand, Takshita, Neetu, Amit, Jolly, all of you are correct. Prakriti, Goel, Venkat Lakshmi, Vidisha, Janvi, Saloni, Mangal Pali. सबने correct answer दिया. That's great. Okay. So let's move ahead. We will complete the 2 case laws and then proceed further. So business now, this 5th principle, this is the cardinal principle of partnership law. Cardinal means it's the heartbeat of partnership. So cardinal is the scientific term that they have used, as you person cannot cannot live without a heart. Similarly, without mutual agency, partnership cannot exist. So if you say that, yes, ma'am, we share the profits, we have the agreement and we have signed an agreement, we are 2 or more persons, we are legal persons and we are doing the business, but we don't have mutual agency. चलो आप ही का एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं. आप प्रॉपर्टी डीलर्स हैं A and B and they are doing the business, but they are not liable for each other. If there is no mutual agency, then can you say A and B are partners? Yes or no? Yes, that's the soul of partnership law. Mutual agency is the heart and soul and mind as well. If without mutual agency, there will be no partnership. Excellent. Prakriti Goel, you can send your doubts later on. I haven't seen what you have said. Okay, so once we are done with this, then you can send your doubts. Okay, now an act of one partner is in fact the act of all partners. Each partner is the principal as well as agent. क्या मतलब होता है इसका? एक पार्टनर कोई काम करेगा तो दूसरे भी लायबल. To the extent they are bound by the act of other partners, but only and only for the purpose of business, not for your personal purposes. You all answered me in the example also, ma'am. If he's buying movie tickets or travel tickets for his family, then other partners are not liable. But any expenditure that any of the partner is doing for the business, all the other partners will also be held liable. So the true test of partnership is mutual agency and not sharing of profits. If mutual agency is absent, please mark it in bold in your study material. Then there will be no partnership. अगर म्यूचुअल एजेंसी ही नहीं है आपस में, अगर वो म्यूचुअल ट्रस्ट एंड कॉन्फिडेंस ही नहीं है, they don't trust each other. Suppose A, B, and C are the partners, and A went and did the business with Mr. D, and he purchased some goods for the business for 20,000. Now B and C started fighting with A that why did you purchase? We don't need it. It's not required. हमें करना ही नहीं है business. आपने क्यों करा? तो मतलब इनमें आपस में, and tomorrow B did some dealing, A and C started fighting. So where there are always fights, there is no trust, there is no confidence in the partners, then there can be no partnership. फिर आप partnership कर ही नहीं सकते. वो कह रहे mutual agency means एक faith and विश्वास का रिश्ता होता है. There is a relationship of trust and confidence between the partners. Please write it down. There should be a relationship of trust, faith, and confidence between the partners. Then only the partnership, the relationship can exist. Now let's listen to this case study. KD Kamath and Company is a very, very important case law. Why, ma'am? Because it is a Supreme Court judgment. So Supreme Court is the highest authority. कोई case Supreme Court तक तभी जाता है अगर उसकी मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा High Court पे भी decision नहीं लिया जा रहा. That means it has a very strong base. There are strong reasons behind this. So the case was went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said that two essential conditions have to be satisfied in order to conclude whether it is a partnership or not. क्या कहा सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कि दो चीजें देखनी बहुत जरूरी हैं टू फाइंड आउट वेदर इट इज अ पार्टनरशिप फर्म, yes or no. Number one, there should be an agreement to share the profits as well as losses of the business. So if A and B are sharing the profits and losses and they're doing the business, and number two, the business must be carried on by all or any one of them acting for all, then yes, it is a partnership firm. So number one, KD Kamath mein Supreme Court said two things have to be seen. Agreement should be there and sharing of profits. SOP means agreement for sharing of profits should be there, and the principle of MA means mutual agency should be present. तो लॉ ने कहा अगर ये तीन चीजें हैं, then we will say it is a partnership firm. Now what happened? There was a sole proprietor, KD Kamath. He was doing entire business on his own, and he had 5 more partners in that business. What did I say? KD Kamath was doing a business in which he had 5 more partners. However, the exclusive power and control was lying in the hand of only one partner. So only one partner, Mr. KD Kamath, was having all the control in his hand. Whenever there was any meetings or board of directors or appointing of any things or selling and purchasing, KD Kamath used to go and fix all the deals on his own. All the bank accounts were also in the name of KD Kamath. He was borrowing money on behalf of the firm. Everything that KD Kamath was doing all alone. So High Court said, no, you are a sole proprietor. How can you say you are partnership? सारा तो आप खुद काम कर रहे हो, सारा exclusive power and control तो आपके पास है, वो तो सिर्फ आपके partners हैं साथ में. So High Court ने इसको sole proprietor कह दिया. So they went to appeal in Supreme Court. So Supreme Court said, okay, fine, listen, don't fight. We will see the 2 essential conditions. Number 1 was asked, do you have an agreement with all these 5 partners? Are you sharing profits? KD Kamath said, yes, I am sharing the profits. I have the agreement. Number 2, are they liable for your actions? Law said, yes, because by the agreement of the parties, it says all the exclusive power and control is in my hand with agreement to them. Just because of their permission, I have asked them, they have allowed me that you can have all the exclusive power and control in your hand. Even the bank accounts are with me. I have the borrowing powers. These are not destructive theory. It says two essential conditions are being met, then it's okay. Then you are still a partnership firm. एक सिंपल एग्जांपल लेते हैं. A, B and C are partners. A is very smart. He's a chartered accountant. A, B and C, there are three partners, and this is Mr. A is a very smart chartered accountant. He said, I am little more intelligent than you. Let me take all the business decisions. I will see which clients we have to meet. I will open the bank accounts. I will go for borrowing the money. A is considering himself very intelligent, and B and C said, okay. B and C ने बोला, अच्छा यार, हमें टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. Mr. A, our chartered accountant, he will go and do all the business. But we are with you. We trust you. Relationship of trust is formed. And whatever business A is doing, B and C are also liable in this. Whatever profits A is earning, B and C also get that profits. Now you children tell me, can we say A, B, C are partners? Yes or no? Yes, Rohit, A is CA. B and C are also CA, but A is little smart C. All right. सिर्फ yes मैम लिखते हो, रीजन आंसर नहीं दोगे कुछ भी. Yagesh, Harsha, Mangalpali, everyone is correct. Jia Wali is saying no. That's wrong. Yes is the correct answer. Apurva, Kushi, Varun, Janvi, give me reasons for yes, please. P. Amini, very good. Mutual agency sharing of profits is there. Very good, Namanpreet, because A has taken the control with consent of B and C. They're sharing the profits. Business, very good. Om Gupta, Manisha, Janvi Joshi, Prakriti, Komal, Apurva, Naman, Jolly, P. Amni, Prayukta, Sneha Gupta, Gangama, Kruti, Srishti, Nishi, Chanchal, Manish, Anjali, Saloni. All of you are correct, children. Akshita, very good. Nishi, Keshav, सबने बिल्कुल ठीक आंसर दिया है. So yes, ma'am, because KD Kamath is applicable here. All those who have given me yes answer over here, that means you have understood KD Kamath. The same thing happened in KD Kamath. He was having the entire power and control in his hand. But law says we have to see if there is an agreement of sharing of profits and the other partners are also liable on this behalf, on his behalf, then it is a partnership firm. Don't worry if only KD Kamath is doing the entire business. Don't worry if Mr. Ray is doing the entire business. That is a secondary thing. समझ आ गया KD Kamath? Good. Partnership deed is also known as partnership agreement. ये आगे पढ़ेंगे हम. Now section 6 says, so 3 things are very important. अभी हमने conclude करा ना, वही बात हमने KD Kamath में prove करी है. Agreement होनी चाहिए, sharing of profits होना चाहिए, and mutual agency होना चाहिए. The same points have been written over here. You can just give it a reading. Sharing of profits, these 4 points are very, very interesting and they are my favorite. What does it say? It says, lender of money to person engaged in the business. If you lend money to someone, if you're giving loan to someone, it doesn't mean that you're sharing the profits. Sharing of profits must be arising from the business that you're doing with the other person as a partner. Like I explained to you children, if any agent or servant is given any remuneration, remuneration means salary. So if any salary is paid to the partner, to an agent or servant, he will not become a partner in your firm just because he's getting a salary. Similarly, if any loan is given to another person, he will not become your partner because you have lended him money. By lending money, you cannot make another person a partner. By giving a salary, you cannot make him a partner. A partner has to be made, then he should be sharing the profits and sign an agreement, and mutual agency has to be present. Now, widow or child of deceased partner as annuity. He says there were three partners, C, D, and E, and C died. Now, because C died, they thought that let's pay an annual sum of money. Annuity means annual sum of money. This sum of money was paid to Mrs. C and his child. Deceased partner means the partner who has died. So now, can you say Mrs. C and the son also become the partner in the firm? No, they cannot become a partner. Just because they're receiving annuity doesn't mean that they become a partner. It is just in the case of death of a partner, certain share of profits have to be paid to the legal representatives of the deceased partner. Therefore, this payment will not make them the partners unless and until Mrs. C comes and signs an agreement. If she comes and signs an agreement that, okay, fine, now I want to do a partnership with you, then the things will be different. All right. Next is by a previous owner or part owner of the business as consideration for sale of goodwill. This is very interesting. Now, I sold my entire business to you and I also sold my goodwill to you. It does not mean that the person who is receiving a payment will become your partner. So I had my business, and goodwill is the reputation that you have built over the years. So if you're selling goodwill to someone, you will not automatically become a partner. It says if my previous owner pays me for the sale of goodwill, does not make the receiver a partner with the person carrying out the business. So if I have taken over your business and I have made you the payment, so if I paid you for the goodwill, doesn't mean that you become partner in my firm. I have made you the payment. I have not made you my partner. Understood? So as earlier discussed, sharing of profit is very important, but it is a prima facie evidence and not conclusive evidence. अब ये क्वेश्चन कई बार एग्जाम में पूछा जा चुका है एंड इसको इम्पोर्टेंट मार्क कर लो. ये क्या कहता है कि शेयरिंग ऑफ प्रॉफिट प्राइमा फेसी तो दिख रहा है बट कंक्लूजन नहीं है. ये ए, बी एंड सी ने बिजनेस करा, प्रॉफिट शेयर करा, क्या वो पार्टनर्स बन गए? मैम, दिस इज अ प्राइमा फेसी एविडेंस. So what is the conclusive evidence? You tell me. हमने कहा ये prima facie. Okay, Nishi, I'll give you break. Don't worry. Think about me. I have to speak so much. I hope you all are understanding and enjoying the session. That is more important. So many good answers. Charan Uchari has given. Gangama has given. Very nice. You're learning, my children, to write law. That's beautiful. Saloni says, Avesh, what do you want me to speak in Hindi, beta? हिंदी में मैंने ये समझाया अभी इंग्लिश में कि शेयरिंग ऑफ प्रॉफिट्स प्राइमा फेसी मतलब देखने में तो लग रहा है कि अगर दो बंदा प्रॉफिट्स शेयर कर रहा है तो वो पार्टनर है, बट क्या ये कंक्लूसिव एविडेंस है? क्या हम कह सकते हैं कि प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग करने से पता लगता है कि पार्टनरशिप है? सो पी यामिनी हैज गिवन मी द करेक्ट आंसर. वेरी गुड. सो मैंने पूछा है कैसे पता लगेगा, फिर क्या है कंक्लूसिव एविडेंस? How do you know that they are partners? What is there to conclude? Keshav Agarwal is saying partnership agreement. Jolly is saying no. Priyukta is right. So what is the conclusive evidence, children? I taught you. अभी हमने discuss करा है इसके बारे में. Very good. Excellent. Business is the conclusive evidence, Priya Darshini. No. Agreement, deed, evidence. No. Vidisha correct. Gangama correct. Udit. S. Samrit Kumar. Mutual agency is the correct answer, children. Many of you have given wrong answers. That is business. So I told you that yes, we're sharing the profits from the business and we have made an agreement. So why law says that it is the prima facie evidence? It says this is okay. This is good, Harleen, that you told us that there should be an agreement and there should be a sharing of profits. That's fine. But what is the conclusive evidence? Very good. All those who have given the correct answer. वो कह रहे हैं right to participate in profit is a strong test. But just because you're sharing the profit doesn't mean you become a partner. The relationship does not exist upon whole of the contract. It has to be seen whether Section 6 is applied as whole or not. In determining the existence of partnership, mutual agency relationship is must to exist. This is the cardinal principle of partnership law. If this is not there, then, my dear students, there will be no partnership. So, which is the conclusive test? Mutual agency is the conclusion. It helps us in reaching the conclusion. Each partner is an agent and principal. If this relationship exists, then yes, ma'am, it is a partnership. So read these point number 4 and 5, and I'll just take a small break over here. Welcome back, students. Good. You have read the case laws also. Gautam Verma is asking, ma'am, partnership partner as a liability and everyone died, the family member. So if it's a family members doing it to Gautam, then it can be an HUF. But if you're asking about the partnership, if all the partners have died, then liability of partners is always unlimited. But when the partners have only died, that partnership business will come to an end. So when we reach the chapter of dissolution of partnership, there you will understand that how the liabilities are settled after the death of partner. Okay. Yes. Good. Amit is talking about Shark Tank as well. So you're understanding about the businesses. That's nice. Okay. When there can be no partnership, but it only take one person. Okay. Prakriti Goel, your query, there can be no partnership with only one. Yes, there can be no partnership if only one person is taking all the profits home. So if I say ABC are partners and Mr. E only eats all the profits and he give nothing to Mr. B and C, then it will not be considered as a partnership. Now, what happened in Santi Ranjan Das Gupta case versus the Sriyan Murzal Supreme Court judgment? Now, what happened over here is that in this case, they reached the conclusion that there is no partnership between the parties. What happened? Now, here, all the partners, they have not retained any records. They made a partnership with each other, but they did not had any records. That means there was no agreement. There was nothing related to the terms and conditions of partnership. They had not opened up any business accounts. There were no bank accounts. If auditors came for inspection, there were nothing to show to the inspection also. Nothing was opened with bank also. And no written intimation was given to the deputy director for created new partnership which is created. Generally, whenever you create a new partnership, even if you don't get it registered, an intimation needs to be sent to the deputy director of procurement. So in this respective case, that intimation to deputy director was also not given. Now you tell me, children, Santi Ranjan Das Gupta, can we say that there is a partnership, yes or no? Based on these conditions, can we conclude? Where there are no records means there is nothing related to the partnership. There are no rights, duties, records, addresses of the partners, about the business. There is no accounts of its own. So do you think in the absence of agreement, when agreement is only not there, sharing of profits is not there, can you just simply apply the mutual agency relationship and say it's a partnership? Law says partnership is a full section 6 needs to be read in combination. Records must be there. Bank accounts should have been opened. There should be certain proof in order to make understand that implied conduct. Remember, I told you that certain conduct is important. So it is very, very important. All of you have said no, ma'am, because they didn't have any proof. Very good, Yogesh. Priyanka, Om, Amit, Anand Goel, Shriya, Khushi, Gautam, Komal, Varun, Mogan Priya. Very good. Ritu, Pratima, Sirinathi. Excellent, children. Why no partnership? Because there should be certain proof in order to make us understand. Mutual agency में नहीं होगा ना, because कोई record ही नहीं है. कैसे पता लगेगा कि who is dependent on whom? What actions were taken, how the business was done, how much the sale was there, what was the purchase. So Santi Ranjan must have went to avail the benefits of partnership, and he must have said that please register me as partnership firm. So they said that since there are no records, you can't prove, you must have proof in order to make it an understanding. There should be an agreement, there should be sharing of profits, and mutual agency is the cardinal principle, that is the heart and soul to conclude there exists a partnership between the parties. So children, please remember these both case laws. They are very, very important. Section 4 concludes on KD Kamath and Company. This section, KD Kamath says that yes, partnership did exist between the partners. And Santi Ranjan Das Gupta says no, there is no partnership. No partnership in the absence of records. Simple. So when there are no records, there will be no partnership held. समझ गए? Now let's move to the points of differences between partnership and company. As committed to all of you, we have to take a discussion on auction sale also. So फटाफट से इसको खत्म करते हैं, MCQs करते हैं and फिर auction sale की discussion करते हैं. So what is company? Company is an artificial legal person. A very, very important case law. When I will discuss company with you, then I will teach you Salomon versus Salomon. Abhi ke liye simply remember company is an artificial person. Partnership is not a legal person. So can a company be a partner in a firm? Quickly answer me yes or no. Can you say that a company is a partner in a firm? Yes or no? You have to answer me, children. Can a company be a partner in a firm? Pramka says no. Are you saying for this question? Yes, company can be a partner, but firm cannot be a partner. Very good, all those who have sent the correct answer. Company has perpetual succession. So I just now told you that the firm will not have a perpetual succession. If any of the partners die, firm will come to an end. But if the members die, will the company come to an end? No, it still keeps continuing as it has a perpetual succession. What about registration? It says company must be registered under Companies Act 2013. Now see children, company gets a legal identity. I told you in the beginning also, company जब form होती है तो members different है, company different है, company को एक legal status मिल जाता है. Now this legal status, for getting this incorporation, the company needs to be registered. Very good, all those who have given the correct answer, because it's a judicial person. Priyukta, good. So company gets a judicial person, means an artificial person, legal person, personality is created. So company must be registered under the Companies Act 2013. However, for partnership, registration is not compulsory. Why? Because it is guided by the Indian Contract Act. अब समझ आया जो उस टाइम कह रहे थे Companies Act में fall करते हैं. Partnership is guided by Indian Contract Act and Partnership Act. Why it is guided by Indian Contract Act? Because again, partnership is based on the basis of a contract that we form between the parties. And registration is not compulsory in partnership. How many number of members? Private company can have maximum 200 and public company can have unlimited number of members. Okay. So, however, in Companies Act, number of members cannot exceed 100. However, we have to follow the recent rules of 2014. So children, in Companies Act, whenever something recent amendment has come up, we have to follow that amendment. So the recent rules under 2014 has restricted the present limit to 50. So if you ask me, ma'am, how many number of members we have to learn, it is 50 that you have to remember. Regarding distribution of profits, now, company doesn't distribute profits, children. What does company declares? Company declares dividend out of the profits. So shareholders invest the money and they get dividend. 7% preference shareholders, they will be given preference. Equity shareholders, preference shareholders. Who are the preference shareholders? Who get preference for the payment of dividend. उसके बाद equity shareholders को dividend मिलता है. तो इस तरह से dividend distribute होते हैं, sharing of profits नहीं होती company. However, under partnership, you share the profits as per the partnership deal. Prakriti was asking about losses. You have to share the losses as well. You cannot say that only one person is supposed to bear the losses. So profits as well as losses both need to be shared either equally or whatever is. Okay. In company, its property is separate. What is the meaning of property? Property means जो आप फर्नीचर, सामान, ये सारे एसेट्स लेकर जो आयो. Property means assets of the business. What is property? Property means assets of the business. In company, this property is separate from the members who can receive it back only in the form of dividends or refund of capital. So what happens in case of company? Now I opened a company ABC Limited and I bought all these air conditions, tables, furniture, chair. All these are the assets of company. No member can say that this is my AC, I will take it home. This is my chair, I will take it home. No, it is company's assets are different, and your different boxes that you carry and go to the company, that is your asset. Company is not keeping your assets. A laptop, if it is given by a company, it's company's laptop. If you have your own laptop, then it is your, as a member, you have your own laptop. So company's property is different, members' property is different. However, under partnership, it is the joint estate. अब इंटरेस्टिंग सा एग्जांपल लेते हैं. ABC ने पार्टनरशिप बिजनेस खोला एंड उन्होंने कहा यार हम अच्छे CA फ्रेंड्स हैं. So A said I will bring the table and chair from home. B said I will put all the lightnings and air condition, and C said I will do all the decor, all the furniture, nice curtains and flower pots, everything I will bring. 3 partners, they contributed, invested the capital and started doing the business. Now, my dear students, Mr. A bought nice table chair from his home. Can B sit on his chair? Does it belong to the firm or is it's only belonging to A? It's a property of the firm. Is B and C allowed to sit or not? Prakriti, Goyal, you're still stuck with profit and losses. If one person wants to take it, let him take, but it is legally not allowed that you force a person to bear entire losses. And if one person is taking the profits home, he's not giving, he's just trying to tell you that the intention of partnership has to be seen in whole. Okay? Members of company must have an, yes, Neha saying, when we go to the insurable and trust, Makora versus Northern Insurance, I will explain you over there. Company can, yes, Rohit, definitely company can buy property in its own name. My intelligent students know so much about company. That's great. Yes, Neetu, that's correct. Priyukta, that's correct. Prasad, very good. Anshika, Saloni, nice. Yes, they are allowed, ma'am. Yes, they can sit. Definitely. Why? Because it's a joint estate. अब फिर से ये जोक कहा जाने के लिए कि ए ये नहीं कह सकता कि ये चेयर मैं घर से लाया हूं, मैं ही बैठूंगा. This is just my chair. These curtains were put by Mr. C. These curtains will be displayed only when C is sitting in his office. No. All the properties that you have bought are the firm's property. It's joint estate. You have to have the trust and confidence with each other. You are good partners. You will not fight. And then only this relationship and bond of partnership can continue. If you keep fighting, then there is no partnership, dissolve it. But company में ऐसा नहीं. Company के assets आप ऐसे फर्म में भी तोड़फोड़ तो नहीं कर सकते, बट कंपनी के एसेट्स कंपनी के हैं, मेंबर्स के नहीं. अगर आपने टाटा कैपिटल या किसी कंपनी में, रिलायंस में, कहीं टाटा में इन्वेस्ट करा है, तो एसेट्स कंपनी के आपके नहीं बन जाएंगे जस्ट बिकॉज यू हैव इन्वेस्टेड. बट फर्म में अगर आप पार्टनर बनते हैं तो फर्म के एसेट्स सब पार्टनर के होते हैं. ऑल ऑफ देम कैन यूज इट. Okay. Yes, Priyanka Kumari, that's correct. Transfer of shares. A private limited company can transfer its shares easily. So nobody is stopping it. They can transfer their shares. However, in partnership, you cannot transfer your interest without the consent of other parties. So if I am 30% shareholder in your partnership firm, I have to take the consent of other partners if I want to transfer. So it is not very easy to transfer the interest in partnership. However, under a company, you can easily transfer your shares. What is the liability in case of a company? First, let us understand. Many of you were asking liability of partners. So what is the liability of partners? It is unlimited. So if assets are not sufficient to pay off the liabilities, partners are also held personally liable. Okay? If the assets of the firm are not sufficient, then the partners personally also held liable. That means, say for example, there are only 10,000 assets of the firm and you have to pay 15,000 liabilities, then these 5,000 extra rupees have to be bought in from the home of the partners and they will pay off the liabilities of the business because their liability is unlimited. कोई लिमिट नहीं है, जितना भी liability है उन partners को पे करना ही पड़ेगा. However, कंपनी में कंपनी लिमिटेड बाय शेयर्स और कंपनी लिमिटेड बाय गारंटी होती है. तो जितनी गारंटी मेंबर्स ने दी है, they are only liable up till that. Okay. In case of an agency, member is not an agent and principal. Have you heard that company is having mutual agency? No. Company has its own actions, members have its own actions. They are separate. Company is separate, members are separate. However, partners act as an agent as well as principal of other partners. Management may only director participate in the management. Other shareholders are just the members. Here, all the partners can take part. Okay, all the partners, whosoever is the partner is allowed to participate. There are no directors and shareholders. In company, only directors participate. And how the winding up or ending of the company happens. A company is wind up by National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT. NCLT is the National Company Law Tribunal. That is the body which will struck its name, which will ask that the company has been now winded up. Because company is registered under Companies Act, so legally ही company को close करा जा सकता है. Its name has to be removed from the registrar of companies. However, partnership can be dissolved by any partner if all the partners agree. A and B made the partnership in the morning and by evening they said no, close कर दो, खत्म करो, हमने नहीं करना. कर दो भाई, किसी के पास registrar के पास जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. We can do the dissolution on our own also. We'll sign the papers, the firm is dissolved. So it's not that complicated. Winding up dissolution of firm is not very complicated. But company, you have all the legal formalities. Setting up of a company is also very, very formal structure has to be done. And even winding up of the company, a full formal structure is required. All right, children. So we will continue with the other points of differences in the next class, because as promised, we have to take up the topic of auction sale where we left last time. So somebody was asking 42, 44 also. So you have still not sent me what did you want to understand in that particular section of Leon Child. So whatever are your doubts, children, please be specific. Now you can ask your doubts. I'm giving you 10 minutes today for your doubts. But first, let me complete auction sale. So quickly, all of you come to the legal rules of auction sale because only 10 minutes are left. And your homework is that you will read all the points of differences between partnership and company and partnership and HUL. Okay, plus section 4 and section 6. Auction sale. Now, what is auction sale? I told you it is a mode of selling the property by inviting the bids, and auctioneer is the person who is appointed. He is governed by law of agency. So if I am a seller, I will appoint an auctioneer who will hold my auction sale. He is governed by the law of agency, means he's appointed. His appointment happens under the Agency Act. He may sell his own property as the principal, but there is no need to disclose this fact that he's so selling. Means he can sell anything. Even as a principal, he can sell. So examiner generally examiner gives you what are the rules of auction sale. So section 64, these 5-6 rules, you have to learn it as it is. So 4 marks question come in the exam and you can simply write down these rules. Number 1 rule is when the goods are sold in lots. So for example, you want to sell 5,000 bags of sugar and you have 10 such bags. So you have 1 bag of 5,000, you have second bag of 5,000. Sugars, and then you have made different 10 lots you have. So if you have made, that means you have made 10 lots of 5,000 bags of sugar. Now laws say each lot will be treated as a separate contract of sale. Each is a separate contract of sale. So when 1 lot is sold, it is a separate contract of sale. Buyer seller provisions will be applicable. Second lot की auction होएगी तो second उसको अलग से माना जाए. So if you, for example, emanate 10 lots of 5,000 bags, so each lot will be treated as a separate contract of sale. This is what it means by lots, where the goods are put up for sale in lots and each lot is a separate contract of sale. Completion of contract of sale कैसे होता है? By the fall of hammer. So under auction sale, auctioneer announces, he falls the hammer and the sale is set to complete. Right to bid may be reserved expressly or on behalf of the seller. So sometimes seller reserves the minimum price, that is known as reserve price. So he can say that minimum price of 20,000 has been fixed. So now all the bids should be over and above 20,000. Okay, so this is known as the reserve price. This can be done by the seller or anyone else can also do it on his behalf. So this is known as the reserve price or upset price. Sale can be subject to a reserve price and right to bid can also be reserved. Means we have expressly told that these are the people who can bid only and above this rate. When the sale is not notified by the seller, now this is very important point. It says if seller has not notified the sale, it should not be lawful for the seller to bid himself or employ any person knowingly to take any bid. Anyone tries to do this kind of thing, it will be considered as a fraud by the buyer. अब वो कह रहे हैं जो भी ऑक्शन पे सेल क्या होती है, मैंने आपको बताया था ऑक्शन होता है नीलामी करना, किसी चीज का प्राइस मतलब बिडिंग आएगी, कस्टमर्स रेट्स बताएंगे एंड हम सामान बेचेंगे. So there is a seller, Mr. A, he wants to sell out all his household properties that were lying and he has put it up on auction sale. So there is a refrigerator, somebody is going to tell the rates for that refrigerator. So there's a television, somebody will say the rate for television and the sale will be complete. So somebody say for the television 10,000, 5,000, 6,000, 15,000. So whatsoever seller will like, he will say finalize. But if seller is not notifying this sale, he is not allowing him and he himself employs someone to do the pretended bidding. Somebody just is sitting on his behalf and he's saying that, okay, let's raise the price. Let's say that price is 15,000. So although the television set is only for 8,000, but he's just pretending, means he's जानबूझकर rate बढ़ाने के लिए. He's just trying to pretend it. He's not actually buying the goods. Then such a case, the sale will become voidable at the option of buyer. Buyer can file a case against this. Either he can treat the contract as repudiated or he can wind the contract. Similarly, if the auctioneer or the sale is not notified by the seller, then any knowingly taking any bid. So seller is again trying to create a bid or is employing any persons or any contravention he is doing with this rule. It will be considered as a fraud by the buyer. So simply you have to, and how the sale completes by the fall of hammer. So all these points you simply need to learn and write it down in the exam. P sold a car by auction and it was knocked down. Knocked down means sale ho gayi Q ko. Was only allowed to take it away on giving a check for the price. And he signed an agreement that ownership will pass only when the check was cleared. Meanwhile, till the check was cleared, Q sold the car to R. Now P is selling his car by auction. Fall of hammer happened. Q gave a price, bidding was done and he was accepted the bidding and he sold the car to Mr. Q. Now before the payment of check got cleared, Q sold the car to R. Can you say the property has passed? Yes or no? It says both the sale as well as sub-sale are valid. Why? Why the sale made by Q to R is valid? Because property was passed on the fall of hammer. Now whether your check has been cleared or not, payment is happening, that is a secondary item. If I become unpaid, I will use my right of lien or right of stoppage in transit or maybe the rights against the buyer. But once the fall of hammer has happened, the property in the goods means ownership has been passed to Q. So Q can sell the car further to Mr. R. Therefore, this sub-sale is also held valid. All right. So thankfully, within the time period, we have completed this topic also. So let's take up the doubts. I'm here for more 5 minutes. I'll take up your doubts and then we'll wind up the session. Yes, Likhit, you will get the notes for partnership. Don't worry. Inconsistent with the ownership, Mr. Rakib Lodi. Inconsistent means something which I have done to make you understand that the ownership has been passed. For example, goods sent on sale or return basis. So there were 3 conditions. Number 1, you have to reply that, okay, fine, I've accepted the goods. Number 2, if you keep the goods with yourself, beyond the given time period. Number 3, you have used my goods. I gave you the crayons on sale and return basis, and you went for a drawing competition and you have used my crayons. Now you have done something which is consistent with transfer. So you have accepted the goods. You will use my goods only if you have accepted, no? So here it will be assumed that you have accepted the goods. Okay, Mr. Akib Lodi, what happened to you? I hope you have understood now. Q was having the property. Very good, Komal. Very good, P. Yamini. Thank you so much, Sneha Gupta. Om Gupta is saying pretended bidding in Hindi. हिंदी में इसका मतलब होता है जानबूझकर कोई रेट बढ़ाने के लिए सेलर किसी को खड़ा कर देता है बिडर्स में. तो जैसे मैं सेलर हूं एंड ये बायर्स खड़े हैं मेरे सामने ऑक्शन सेल में एंड सेलर ने अपने किसी बंदे को खड़ा कर दिया कि तू भी एक रेट बोल देना. तो प्रिटेंड करना, बट हम एक्चुअली में सामान तुझे नहीं बेचेंगे, सिर्फ प्राइस को इंक्रीज करने के लिए ही सेइंग कि चलो 15,000. तो नाउ एवरीबडी हैज टू से मोर देन 15,000, 15,001, 15,002. मूवी देखना आज कोई जिसमें नीलामी पे करते हैं ना, सेल ऑक्शन सेल, you'll understand. Okay. No, Mangalpali, seller cannot bid. Na, that is what I just explained. Fraudulently he cannot, but he can fix a reserve price. All right. Thank you, Ritu. Thank you, Rishi. Thank you, Venkat Lakshmi. Yes, Mr. Akib Ali, once you have parted with the goods and the buyer becomes insolvent, definitely you can stop the goods in transit. Very interesting question, Mrs. Jolie Joseph. So in the conditional appropriation, this is the case of conditional appropriation because the check payment has not been cleared. I have reserved my right to disposal. But here in this respective case, he is trying to tell you that the ownership has been passed on the fall of Hamlet. Now, if the check does not get cleared, the seller can use his rights of an unpaid seller and he can file an action against the buyer. Thank you, Om. Thank you, Kushi. Thank you, Sneha. Registrar versus registered. Mr. Charan Nuchri. Registered means the firm should be registered. That means you have to get that stamp from the office of the registrar. So registrar means the office of the registrar, the person to whom you have to apply the documents and get your firm registered. Okay? Yes, that's great, Amit. Namanpreet, where the sale is not notified by the seller means where the seller is not agreeing to certain terms, then that will not be considered valid. Yes, definitely, Harshavi, you can write the answers in your own words. Thank you, Vidisha Dey. You're finding partnership interesting. That's great. All those who have written the movie names, definitely watch them for auction sale. Auctioneer destroy the goods after bidding. So Mohan Singla, if you do such kind of things, then you will be held liable for the consequences. All right. Thank you, students. I could not find any more queries. So Chanchal D and E points वही same मैंने अभी हिंदी में समझाया pretended bidding वाला. So you can just listen to it once again. Definitely, Akib. All right. Thank you, Urvishi. Thank you, children. Benefits of partnership means for the only for the profits. Minor can be admitted for enjoying the profits of the firm. Whatever benefits you can get from the firm and not for the losses. You cannot hold him liable for the losses. Mohan Singla, writing sections is not important. Thank you, Sneha Gupta. Never write a wrong section in CA Foundation or any exam of CA. Never write a wrong section. And for CA Foundation, it is not necessary to learn the section. All right. Okay, fine. Thank you so much. And still any doubts left? We'll take it up in the next class. Homework section 4 and section 6 padhkar aana hai. KD Kamath and Santi Ranjan Das Gupta revise karna, and we will complete the points of references and chapter 1 of partnership in the next class. Thank you. Goodbye.